Hello and welcome to the frying pan that is Newmarket, Virginia. I'm Andrew Kipps, joined by Jack Hurlbert and Brandon Whitaker for tonight's Valley Baseball League contest between the visiting Strasburg Express and your Newmarket Rebels. Jack, you got the lineup for the visiting Strasburg Express?
I am ready and prepared in this sweltering evening, Andrew. Ready to go in this one. Here's the starting lineup for the Strasburg Express. Leading off, Tommy Kerwan playing third base, number 5. He's followed by Jay Douglas batting second. He's in the middle, center field, number 12 tonight. Sam Brown bats third. He's the first baseman. Keep an eye on him. He's an explosive bat, number 25. Ben Green bats cleanup in right, wearing number 11. Hayden Haywood is the designated hitter tonight, batting fifth, number 50. Batting sixth, Dante Ruby. He's at second tonight, number 1. Tanner Waldrop is behind the plate tonight, wearing number 20. Number 46, Madden Williams follows him, batting 8th, the left fielder. And number 9, batting 9th, is Baylor Roberts, the shortstop tonight for the Express. Excited for this one, Andrew.
Should be a good one. Real quick, we'll give you the starting lineup for your Newmarket Rebels. Some fresh faces tonight. Leading off, playing left field out of Campbell University, Mike Murphy. Batting second, playing second, Jonathan Mallow. Batting third in center field, Mario Magana Jr. Batting fourth at third base tonight, Joe Terranova. Batting fifth at first, Jaden Harriel. Batting sixth, another fresh face at designated hitter, Carter McKay. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Maddox Land. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Gio Mendoza. And batting ninth, playing right field tonight, Zach Banks. On the mound for the Rebels, left-handed pitcher Jansen Kenty, who gets a soft fly ball to center. Magana comes a long way across the field to reel that one in and get things started on a positive note for the Rebels. Jansen Kenty, for the back-to-back days, Rebels going to an all-star pitcher.
I should clarify that on the mound tonight for the Express, number 30, Donovan Whitfield from Norfolk State, the Herndon, Virginia native.
First pitch to Jay Douglas, misses up and away. That one's popped up down the left field line. Out of play. Murphy gave it a look, but he'll retreat to his spot in left field.
Strasburg in purple jerseys with black arm, almost patches, looks like. Just the armhole is all black, different than their purple camo.
Fouled off.
Couple games for played against Newmarket. Rebels in their basic, original, and never changing blue with the white stripe down the side.
Been the Rebel home uniform for the last 5 years or so. Prior to that, the Rebels actually wore red as their home.
Really?
Yeah. For a stint, at least. Kenty comes into tonight's game with a 2.05 ERA and 22 innings pitched with 29 strikeouts. There's another strikeout as Douglas goes down looking. Kenty froze him with a pitch on the outside part of the plate. All of the damage against Jansen for this entire season came in one outing against the Purcellville Cannons, where they got him for 6 hits and 5 earned runs. In his other 18 2/3 innings, no runs allowed. Here's Sam Brown, who is the reigning NACSB National Player of the Week. Believe.
Andrew, excuse me.
Yeah, go.
Andrew, really excited to see what these new faces for the Rebels can, contribute to the team, especially in, their first game. We've got Mike Murphy in left, and then you've got McKay, designated hitting tonight. And you also have, you can't forget about Gio Mendoza. He's only played one game for the Rebels, so, also a relatively familiar face for, this fan base and, to the team itself. So excited to see what they can do tonight.
That one's fouled back. I believe I read in the press release about Sam Brown that in a game last week he hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. Don't see that every day.
Yep, and Sam Brown is easily, statistically, and in my eyes, the best hitter for the Express, so it's certainly going to be a challenge for Kenty to deal with him. He's doing pretty well. Good eye there from Brown to force the full count.
Yeah, didn't miss by much, but was a bit out. Full count pitch to Brown. Kenty looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Goes to the curve and gets him swinging. Kenty wins the battle of 2 All-Stars, and the Express go down 1-2-3.
Well, Andrew, we're going to stay here during this break because I'm going to talk a little bit about my keys to victory that I compiled for tonight. So when you're looking at the Rebels, again, it stays, keep playing clean defensive baseball, no costly errors. Don't try to send it to second and be a hero and then cause something and have a break bad on it, just like I talked about against Purcellville. Make contact is something that I brought up for tonight's key. The Rebels struggled to really, only 2 hits. One of them was an infield hit. They really struggled to really hit the ball at all in any ways. So if I'm the Rebels, I'm making contact here. I'm really excited to see what they can do, in the bottom of this first inning with their first chance at the plate. They did a great job defensively to close out the Express at the top of the first. It's a solid start. They did not have that solid start against the Cannons. So, and again, returning for a second game in a row, keep emotions high even if behind. This team runs on emotion, and recently, as of late, there hasn't been a ton of it. And if you can keep those emotions high, even when you're behind in a contest, that's how you come back and win games. And for Strasburg, like I talked about, find the strike zone, limit the walks, strike out the Rebels, make them have to swing at pitches, because we saw it against Percival. They couldn't. They couldn't swing at those pitches and hit them. And draw first blood, just like the Cannons did. Same for the Express. Get in the Rebels' heads early, and then attack that plate. Just attack and attack and attack. If it's in the strike zone, swing at it, make contact, and who knows where that ball can go.
Jack, do you think it's a moral boost knowing you have one of your aces on the mound?
I think so. I think you can think, okay, we got our A game, we got our A player coming out onto the bump for us. It's maybe just a mentality booster for when you're up at the batter's box. We got a good defense behind us, so even if I strike out, it'll be okay. But let's not strike out here. Let's smoke this. That can be a little bit of a deciding factor for a batter versus if I swing and miss on this, I'm going to be the bad guy and I'm going to mess up and our defense will crumble and we'll lose this game. So having that mentality, that's sometimes can be the difference between winning and losing a baseball game.
Yeah, I think the offense for the Rebels has been pressing a bit, but having Kenty out there and Holtz last night, I feel like you might not have to score that many runs to win. Donovan Whitfield has finished his warm-up pitchers, and Mike Murphy is in the batter's box, freshly alive to Newmarket out of Campbell University.
And Andrew, we were talking a little bit before the game about Mike Murphy. He can put the ball in the air, and that's what you really want. I was looking at some of his D1 baseball stats. 68% of his balls that he batted with the Campbell Fighting Camels, they went in the air. And that is a really, really good stat to be able to have when you can send balls into the air. That's a lot better than putting them on the ground.
swings and misses at a high inside fastball. Rebels started the year with a healthy number of position players that has dwindled as the season gone on, so we'll see some fresh faces to finish things out to go along with some of the familiar ones that are hanging in there.
Always good to see a new player and what they can contribute to the team.
2-2 to Murphy. Fouled off. At least for tonight, 3 Murphys active on the Rebels roster, all position players.
Totally not confusing at all.
Coach Shepard had a chance to really mess with us, but took mercy and only 1 in the lineup. Another foul ball at the plate. Could have gone really crazy and had 2 Marios, a couple Lopez's, and the 3 Murphys just to really mess with the names for us.
Yeah, surprising amount of similar last names, first names. Kind of a nightmare if you're a scorekeeper or you're a commentator.
Swing and a miss. The high fastball gets past Murphy. That's a strikeout to get things started.
Well, I got to give credit to Murphy. You know, he stayed alive in that at bat. He didn't fold over. It was a good job by him to keep swinging, keep fouling off pitches. He's one swing really away from getting that ball in play.
Gave Mallow and Magana a chance to see what Whitfield's bringing to the table here. And first pitch to Mallow. This is for a ball. Mallow, also a Valley League All-Star. At second base. Right side of the field, battling the sun. You can see the players holding their gloves out there. Flared into left. It's down for a hit. Wasn't sure off the bat if that one was going to hang up long enough for Williams to secure it, but he played it safe and on the 1 hop, and that's a 1-out base runner for the Rebels.
And Mallow finally puts the Demons to bed. He had a rough game against Purcellville. 2 walks, and he struck out and he grounded out. So, he popped out to that area. So good job by him to send that over to left field, get it down, and get on base.
Big swing and a miss. Mario Magana, powerful switch hitter, batting lefty tonight against the righty Whitfield. Kind of feels like he's due for a long ball. I think tonight might be the night, although humidity does not necessarily help the ball fly. Swing and a miss. Nice off-speed pitch. Pretty stagnant out at Rebel Park. The flag hanging limp. Just to the left of straightaway center.
No wind, just hot, humid air. Only wind you can get is from a box fan. That's cooling down our monitor.
I think when I checked earlier today, the heat index was supposed to be 101 at first pitch. Should cool down by the middle innings, though. Maybe we'll make it to the 80s before this one's over.
That would be a blessing.
Mallow running. Pitch is taken for ball 1, and that'll be a stolen base for Jonathan Mallow. Not sure exactly how that one got past Waldrop behind the plate. Didn't look like too bad of a pitch.
Like it bounced off the glove somehow, maybe a little miscommunication, maybe a little bit of a cross-up, who knows?
I'm gonna go with cross-up.
I think it was probably a cross-up as well. Like it bounced off the bottom of his glove, maybe.
That one's fouled straight back.
I'll give credit to Newmarket right now. They're doing a good job. Had that first strikeout, but that wasn't even very bad. It wasn't anywhere close to a 1-2-3. They're doing a good job, getting a nice solid hit from Mallow and then a solid steal. Now you got a runner in scoring position. Good chance here to draw first blood.
Definitely seeing some pitches off of Whitfield. Tall righty, rocking some green cleats.
You don't usually see the green cleats anymore. Love to see it.
Ghana rocking the kind of teal or aqua colored guard there. That one's rocketed into the Rebels dugout.
And I don't remember him wearing that really ever, I think. Maybe Mario Magana put him onto it. Who knows?
I think he's had it the last couple nights maybe, but we were too busy talking about the purple bat that the Cannons were using last night to comment on the arm sleeve of Magana.
It would work perfectly with this team.
That one gets away from Waldrop, and Mallow is going to trot on down to third. Ball 2 is a wild pitch.
Finally, Andrew, it feels like momentum and just the luck of the game almost seems to be twisting towards Newmarket this inning. Haven't really seen any of that at all for this really, really hard stretch for the Rebels, but so far looking good.
Another foul ball. Situation where the Rebels certainly need a ball in play.
That's 3 fouls this at bat, isn't it, Andrew?
It is indeed 3 fouls. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Grounder, weakly hit towards second. Going to be a close play at first. Safe. It'll be an infield RBI single for Magana. Slow chopper to second. Will drive in Mallow. Ghana good speed and hustling down the line, beats it out by half a step.
And he was zooming down that line. Great job by Magana to beat out that play. Looked like a little bit of discombobulation between Ruby, the second baseman, and Brown, the first baseman. Just a little bit of no connection there.
Joe Terranova playing third base tonight is the next man up. Takes for a ball. Joe is an infielder by trade, but been getting a lot of action in the outfield for the Rebels. Has just recently started playing some third base. Magana is running. Bro, not in time. Gets away from the second baseman. Ruby, second stolen base of the inning for Newmarket.
And Andrew, this is what I like to see, aggressive baseball from the Rebels. They're coming out swinging. I like this. This is a good start for them. Haven't seen this in a couple games, I'll tell you that.
That breaking ball finds the zone. Not a huge crowd at Rebel Park tonight with the heat. We'll see if the crowd grows as it cools down a bit. Few brave Strasburg fans did make the drive. That one almost looked like it slipped out of the hand to Whitfield, missed way up. Left field lounge once again fairly empty.
Andrew, we're 1 out into the game, and Newmarket has already tied the amount of hits they got all game yesterday.
Ball 4 to Terranova, another man on. Rebels were indeed shut down by a couple of strong Purcellville pitchers, Soda Inden and blanking on the first name, DeJesus,
Jesus, yes.
who picked up the rare 4-inning save for the Cannons.
Number 21, Hayden Ariel.
It's not something you see every day. Visit to the mound by Strasburg pitching coach. Jaden Harriel will be the next man up. Carter McKay, another newly alive Rebel playing in the designated hitter spot tonight, is on deck.
And Andrew, if we revisit the keys to victory, one of the second ones, it's make contact for the Rebels. They're doing a great job so far. Like I just said a few minutes ago, 2 hits already ties the amount of hits they got all game, and it's not even the end of the first inning. So great job by them so far, and they have that key right now and looking to cash in on it.
Hard hit ground ball up the middle. It's into center field for a base hit. Magana being sent home. Might be a close play. Throw is just a little bit late. That's an RBI single for Jaden Harriel. Terranova stops at second. Magana comes around to score.
From Seminole State, hitter number 43, Carter McKay.
Here is Carter McKay, big left-handed hitter. Once again, the light blue batting gloves, which seem to be a trend.
Andrew, here come the floodgates, it seems. Here comes the Rebels. Doing a great job so far in this inning, and now you got to deal with the big man, Carter McKay, in his first at-bat with Newmarket. Certainly got a big barrel on him.
And so far shows a good eye as he takes that one for ball 2.
And Andrew, if I'm Whitfield, I am treading really, really lightly here. McKay's a massive dude. I don't want to send it right down the middle, send it down Main Street on him. I think this, don't want to jinx it, but this might be going pretty far.
Could be some intimidation factor. Trying to think of a similar batter, maybe like Jason Giambi almost. Big left-handed hitter. Popped up towards third base, just off the face of the Rebels dugout.
My notes have him as 6'3", but Andrew, it really doesn't look like he's got. It looks like he's taller than that, maybe 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, a lot of times those roster heights and weights are a little bit skewed in the conservative way, but I think, or in the aggressive, I guess, like, you know, a little taller than maybe they actually are. But I think McKay is every bit of 6'3", if not more. He does swing and miss for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Maddox Land, the shortstop.
From Chattahoochee Valley Community, shortstop number 12, Maddox Land.
For the first time on the broadcast, we get to say Chattahoochee Valley.
How about that? Congratulations to Mr. Land.
I think that's perhaps the funnest school to say we've had all year. Chattahoochee. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it off.
Oh, Land's got a great chance to kind of show to the coaching staff, you should have put me in against Purcellville. He sat yesterday. He's got a great chance to drive in some runs here for the Rebels.
Seems like kind of settled into a rhythm of every other day for Land and Torres, that shortstop. Wouldn't be surprised to see either one of those guys get some action at third base or second base down the stretch here too, as the number of players have dwindled a bit. Here's a hard hit line drive, backhanded at short, throw is going to go to second. It is dropped by Ruby. It's going to be an E4 on the catch.
We have the catcher from College of Central Florida. 5, Gio Mendoza.
Nice play by Williams in the hole on the backhand. Secured it, made a reasonably good throw to second base, maybe a little bit low, but Ruby could not come up with it. Here's Gio Mendoza. 8th Rebel to the plate here in the first inning.
Andrew, after a 1-for-3 outing against Front Royal on the 28th, he's got a great chance to start strong here in his second appearance for the Rebels.
Swing and a miss. He finds himself behind 0-2.
Would be a major letdown if there's going to be any strikeout or ground out here. Leave the bases fully loaded with 2 gone.
Bites off a fastball. May have been a bit outside, but close enough. You don't want to risk it. Jack working on getting some pitch speeds over there.
Got the radar guard in one hand. I got the Bob Carpenter Sportsbook in the other. That one was
Taken
72 on that breaking pitch.
in the dirt for ball 1. Zach Banks waiting on deck. Rebels would love a big hit from Mendoza to put a big crooked number up early on the Express. 1-2, fouled off.
86 on that fastball there. Good job by Mendoza to foul that one off, because I believe that one would have been in the zone for a backwards K.
I would say take our pitch speeds with a grain of salt. They seem to be about 2 miles per hour low based on what we've seen with some better radar guns. We're right at the edge of the range for our little chop to second. Gonna be a tough play going across to first. Just in time to get Mendoza at first base. Thought he was gonna have a chance to beat it out.
Coming to the bottom of the first inning. 2 runs.
Rebels scored 2 runs on 3 hits.
3 runs.
There was 1 Strasburg error and 3 runners left on base. Ben Green will lead it off for the Express on the other side of this break. Jansen Kenty back on the mound for the Rebels. Doing battle with Ben Green. First pitch lifted to right center. Magana way over with a diving catch. That one might have been an easier play for Banks, but Magana gets the job done, covers 60, 70 feet, and leaves his feet for his second nice grab in a row out there.
Yeah, and great job by Magana to get on his high horse. About like 30 yards, maybe. A quick little 30-yard dash there for the U Miami man. Takes a nice dive. That's one you might want to throw on your Instagram.
Yeah, put a star by that one. Should you be keeping score at home? Looks like 2 radar guns going up behind home plate on Kenty here. So see a Longwood University gear. My alma mater.
Alma mater was just about to say.
That one's hit hard into center field. Magano's running back on this one. It's going to short hop the wall. That'll be a double for Haywood. Actually made a fairly close play at second with a strong throw in, but stand-up double.
And Andrew, what a job. Even though he didn't come up with that grab, I still think that's one of those plays. You can't be too disappointed in yourself because you chase it all the way back, you don't get it, but you collect it in time and you fire it over, just completely ignore the cutoff, man. You get it straight to second, and it's a close play. That's one of those things where it shows you got a great arm. Good job by Magana there. Even better job by Haywood to cork that thing out to center.
Called strike. Looks like Kenty's also got a contingent of teammates doing some video work for him behind home plate. Getting some numbers so he can put it out on Twitter. Don't know if we specifically mentioned, but he is in the portal. Has been getting lots of interest from what we hear.
Yeah, who wouldn't be interested in him? 2.05 ERA through 22 innings pitched. Not even including these ones. 29 strikeouts. Make that 31 now with 2 this game. 4
Also,
saves.
an impressive pedigree. Started his career at the University of Alabama. Did quite well. And even going further back, Little League World Series with Georgia. Pretty sure if you Google Jansen Kenty Little League World Series, you'll get a funny video. That's all I'll say.
I'll have to check that out during the break.
3-1 is fouled off. Chat is hopping tonight.
Southeast Region Team 2018 Little League World Series.
If I remember correctly, they lost in the United States Championship game to Hawaii. That one misses just down and in. Put 2 men on for the Express.
Always, Andrew. Anybody watching in the YouTube chat, drop where you're from, where you're watching from, who you pulling for, who you watching in particular, any fun facts, anything you know, anything you can conjure. We want it.
Jack hit the nail on the head. We liked hearing from you. The chat is hopping tonight. Lots of pro Rebel chatter in there, but we'll take Express comments too. One and one count now. Lefty-lefty matchup here with Kenty and Waldrop. Kenty, you're looking for a ground ball or a strikeout.
hometown man from Auburn, Alabama. Plays for his hometown school of Auburn. Solid baseball school there.
In another world, these two may have been rivals in the SEC. Kenty starting out at Alabama.
Little Iron Bowl action.
Popped up on the infield. Should be an infield fly. And that is indeed called by third base umpire Steve Williams. Ultimately was reeled in by Terranova at third, but the batter was already out on the infield fly. That rule, of course, designed to prevent the intentional drop double play.
Fielder number 40, Williams.
Or triple play, depending on the circumstance, I suppose. Madden Williams, next man up for the Express. Swings and misses at a high fastball. Kenty typically gets into the low 90s.
You said it right. The YouTube chat is certainly popping off right now. We got a lot of action going on.
I think there might have been some folks that decided to watch this one from home rather than braving the heat, and I can't blame you.
I do not blame you in the least.
Even in the air conditioning of the press box, pretty warm out.
Sweating through my shirt.
1-1. Breaking ball hit into right field. Banks has a beat on it and reels it in. Kenty works out of a little bit of trouble in the second. No runs on one hit, no errors, 2 runners left. Zach Banks will lead things off for the Rebels on the other side of this break.
Seals the deal, and Peachtree's
Zach Banks, who made the last out in the top half, leading it off for the Rebels here. And then they will turn the order back over to Mike Murphy. And I believe you told me that he likes to go by Mikey, so we'll try to make that happen.
Did see a little bit of information online with him as Mikey.
First pitch to Banks in the dirt for ball one. There was a pitching change for the Express here in the second inning. Daniel Jacobs taking over for Whitfield.
He's a Falcon of Lackawanna from Westchester, Pennsylvania. 6'5".
Speaking of Pennsylvania, former Rebel from Penn State Harrisburg in the house tonight, Dylan Sadison. Left-handed pitcher who played 2 summers with the Rebels. Believe made an all-star appearance in one of those 2. Visiting with his family today at the ballpark. Always a joy to see former Rebels stop in to say hi. That 3-0 fastball finds the outside corner for strike 1. Rebels would love to get the speedy Banks on base to get things started. It's that one foul down the third baseline. Express give chase, but it is ultimately out under the pavilion.
Beautiful night here in Newmarket if you take away the sweltering heat.
And it's, to me at least, just starting to feel a little cooler maybe.
Cool down just
As
a tad.
the sun is setting behind us. Full count pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Softly hit. Gloved on the short hop. Just in time at first base to get Banks by 1 step.
That'll bring up the left fielder from Campbell University. Evans, Mike Murphy.
Here is Mikey Murphy getting his second at-bat of the night and of the season for Newmarket. Comes here by way of Campbell University, one of those sneaky powerhouses in college baseball.
Oh, the CAA is Coastal Athletic Association, very often overlooked conference. Formerly Colonial Athletic Association. Campbell Fighting Camels is certainly a great team in that division. Certainly a great team in general.
Believe they were upset in the CAA championship game and ultimately did not make it into the NCAA postseason, but we're certainly favored going into that one. The Fighting Camels, that's another solid nickname.
You see a lot of these crazy nicknames. If you look at D1, a lot of football programs don't really have any crazy nicknames. I've just seen so many different nicknames, you know, starting baseball, doing baseball commentary, learning about all these guys and all their schools. Just seen so many strange team names.
We have enough Wildcats, Falcons, things like that. I like the unique Fighting Camels of Campbell.
Fighting Owls, Fighting Camels, the Blue Hose. Love that.
3-1 to Murphy inside ball 4. Rebels have a 1-out walk. Just to kind of wrap up the Campbell talk, they were 41-17 on the year, 26-4 in conference play.
26-4. Wow. Talk about dominant. That's great.
Here is Jonathan Mallow. flared a single into left in his first at bat.
Good take by Mal on that upstairs pitch.
This is John's third consecutive summer in Newmarket, and he's gotten better each one. Two and 0. Mario Magana on deck. He also singled in his first at bat. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Gave that one maybe like a half a head shake.
That looked to have just a tiny amount of break to it. Wasn't exactly a fastball, but it still clocked 85, and our radar gun doesn't have the most. We really can't speculate on how accurate it may be, maybe a couple miles per hour off, but certainly a great, with break, great pitch with 85 miles per hour.
I would say it's been pretty consistently about 1 to 2 miles per hour slow, so probably right around 87. And there is a 5-pitch walk to Mallow. Murphy's gonna move up 90 feet, put himself in scoring position for Mario Magana.
Oh, here you go. Can't ask for a better spot than this. If you're Magana, you got a runner on first and second.
Still feeling good about Magana tonight. Like, he is due for a big fly or maybe just an extra base hit. But
well, we've certainly have experience with jinxing Magana into good things against the Strasburg Express. Those who don't know, Andrew took off when his wife went into labor. Hannah, the old intern, came on and spoke Magana's home run into existence.
this is inside for a ball with off speed. Conservative leads from Mallow and Murphy on the bases.
That's kind of expectable to me, Andrew. You got one away. You don't want to risk anything. Really don't want to steal, risk getting two away and picking your runners out of scoring position. So
that one's hit into center. It's going to hold up just long enough for Douglas to make the play. L8 for Magana. Thought that one had a chance to get down.
That's got to be frustrating if you're Magana. You got some good contact on that. Rebels are doing great with the contact, as I was hoping for at the beginning of the game. They're doing a great job, but just right into the waiting glove of Douglas. Try about 15, 20 yards to get that. And easy glove and out for the Express.
Joe Terranova, next man up. The chance to drive in a run. Fouls it back.
Sometimes that's how baseball goes. You struggle to find contact, and then the very next game, you find contact like it's like opening a water dam. Everything comes out. And so, great job by the Rebels tonight to make some solid contact.
Last night, Joe hit one about as hard as you could hit a baseball in the Valley League and not get a home run. Flew out to deep left center.
Looked like it had home run written all over it, but kind of gets caught on the launch angle and cut a little bit short and right on that warning track area.
Probably, I would guess, traveled 385 feet in the air, something like that.
If you were to sacrifice a little bit of that launch angle with launch distance, that would have surely been gone.
Probably even just on a less humid night. Ball not flying particularly well with this high humidity. 0-2 pitch. Fouled back. Jaden Harriel waiting on deck. That one's ripped. Foul. Bounces off the face of the Rebel dugout and straight to the third baseman.
Yep, Harrow's itching to get out there and knock one here, knock a good one here, because he went 0 for 4 against Purcellville yesterday. So looking to right the ship here tonight. Got a great opportunity. And that is if Terra Nova stay alive here.
Express thought they had him. I think the catcher, the pitcher, the third baseman, and the shortstop all took about 2 steps towards the dugout. But no call from the home plate umpire, and Terra Nova still has life. Fouls that one. Waldrop could not quite hang on.
And you could see he was a little bit frustrated with that he couldn't hang on, kind of put his fist into his glove there, a little bit of frustration. That would have been the third out to conclude this second frame if he was able to secure that one, but we play on.
That high breaking ball gets Terra Nova. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 Rebels left on base. After 2 complete here in Newmarket, the Rebels hold on to a 2-run lead. We'll be back for Baylor Roberts in the Express on the other side. Here's Baylor Roberts leading off against Jansen. Kenty hits it into left center field. Murphy's tracking it. Roberts gave that one a pretty good ride, but no trouble for Murphy.
Look very similar to Ariel's line drive last night.
Tommy Kerwin next man up as the Express have flipped their lineup back over to the top. Called strike. Rebels would love to keep seeing quick outs from Kenty. Keep him in this one as long as possible. The heat could shorten the outing a little bit, as it does increase the intensity of the workout, so to speak.
And I like to look at this first three for the Express kind of as the big dogs of their lineup, if you will. And getting that out there of Roberts is a huge help to be able to close out the Express this inning.
Ground ball to Terranova at third. He's got it. Throw across in time to get a hustling Kerwin at first base. Terranova showing a strong arm at the hot corner.
I think it's for the fourth straight time now. Valley Baseball League Commissioner Rick Furr is in the building. Just saw him walk across and he's taking a walk across the ballpark, taking a seat now in the seated section.
Kenty tries a backdoor breaking ball and misses upstairs. 1-0 on Douglas.
Yeah, and Andrew, look at the break on that pitch. Did you see that? That was almost, looked like it was chest high of the umpire, breaks right into that top
Line
part
drive
of the
into right center. Magana on his horse. Another nice catch in center field from Magana. He's been busy out there tonight. The Express quickly go down 1, 2, 3. And Jansen Kenty is through 3. Back for Jaden Harriel and the Rebels. Just a moment. Here's Jaden Harriel out of Florida Atlantic. Chopper slowly hit to shortstop, fielded, throw across in time to get Harriel. 1 pitch, 1 out for Daniel Jacobs. Back out on the mound for his second inning of work. And Carter McKay ready for his second at-bat of the night and season.
Gotta wonder if this is one of McKay's first time in a wood bat league. Maybe he's still adjusting to the bat. You can only speculate.
It's that one hard, just foul down the first baseline.
Certainly was moving pretty quickly. The this falls past the first base line.
Jacobs tries to go backdoor. Doesn't quite pull it back far enough and misses for a ball. Looks like Carter played for Boonville in the Perfect Game Collegiate League last summer. Hit .358 with a .431 on base percentage. And 4 home runs. Pops this one up into shallow left. Center fielder Douglas ends up calling everybody else off and reeling it in for the second out of the inning.
And Douglas was on his horse to go get that one. Again, we've been seeing these center fielders, Andrew, hustling all over the ballpark. It seems like that one was all the way to shallow left. Comes the center fielder all the way to go glove that one. And we've seen Magana all over the place tonight. A good game if you like center fielders. And who doesn't like center fielders?
I do like a speedy center fielder, I must admit. First pitch to land, called strike. Ground ball to second. Ruby's up with it, throws across. In time to retire. Maddox land 4-3. Rebels go down 1-2-3 in the third. After 3 complete, it's Newmarket 2, Strasburg nothing. We'll be back for reigning NACSB National Player of the Week, Sam Brown, who's leading off for the Express in the fourth. Here is Sam Brown, lefty hitting first baseman for the Express. Second matchup of the night against Jansen Kenty. Kenty won the battle in their first matchup.
And Andrew, Sam Brown, pretty much undoubtedly Strasburg's best hitter. .422 batting average, 6 homers, obviously give or take a couple because of their very home run friendly ballpark. 25 RBIs, 22 runs. Just a solid overall offensive player. Saw that one there on that high pitch, fouled that one off. Looked like it went up into the mesosphere. Wow, he hit that hard and high.
It's been a few years now, but it was with the current Valley League park setup for the most part that the All Things Valley League website did a park factor study and found that it was approximately twice as easy to hit a home run at Strasburg compared to the average Valley League park. That one is reeled in right field by Zach Banks. Another highlight reel catch for the Rebels. Banks lays out going towards the line and brings it in. Brown robbed of extra bases.
Well, Andrew, I usually put a star in my scorebook, like you say, for a nice play. I'm going to put a star, and then I'm going to circle it because, wow, what a play by Banks to lay out to glove that one. Did not think he was going to get there in time, but what a job by him.
Called strike to Green. Ben Green. With the outfield alignment the Rebels currently have out there, it's actually really 3 center fielders. Tough night to get a fly ball to drop out there with speed all the way around. Banks has played a lot of center field this summer for the Rebels. Magana plays a lot of center field. And I believe Mikey Murphy played center field for Campbell, so.
Yeah, interested to see how Murphy performs in left for the first time in Newmarket. Hasn't really been tested much. He did have that fly ball that came to him in the top of the third. He was able to glove that one. That was shortstop Roberts who hit that to him. But yeah, he played center field for the Fighting Camels and Central Michigan in 24 and 25. He was a left fielder, so he certainly got some experience in that aspect.
Meanwhile, Kenty has run the count full on Ben Green. Full count, 1 out, playing in the top of the 4th. I think it's safe to say the crowd has grown a little bit as this one has progressed. Might even go as far as saying doubled on the Strasburg side. Fastball gets Ben Green swinging. Another strikeout for Jansen, Kenty, and the Rebels.
And that's how you do it if you're Kenty right there. Big swinging strikeout. Now you got 1-2, chance to go 1-2-3 here.
Haywood, next man up for the Express. Tall right-handed batter.
And a 1-2-3 here from Kenty Andrew would be his second straight.
Love to see it if you're a Rebel fan. Big swing and a miss from Haywood.
Full spin around on that one, almost swung out of his shoes there.
Haywood's another one of those batters that looks like he could hit it a long way if he gets a hold of one. Fouled back into the yards along the right field line. 1-2. Kenty 1 strike away from getting out of the 4th inning. One, two on the way. Line drive into right field. That one's going to be down for a single. Took a funky hop on Banks, but he's able to secure it and get it in to keep Haywood at first.
And Andrew, not much that Banks can do there. Ball's at his feet. He did a great job being able to stop that, not let it get past him. Obviously, sometimes you got the grassy terrain. Sometimes the ball can bounce a little bit in unexpected ways. So good job by him to keep his eye on it and secure it.
Coming into tonight, Kenty 5th in the Valley Baseball League in strikeouts. With 29.
A solid pitch by Kenty, even though it missed. That was a great, just a great delivery there from him.
Ruby at the plate for the Express. Swings and misses on a curve. Kenty approaching 50 pitches here as he works with 2 outs in the 4th. Ooh, that one looked pretty good, but called a ball.
And just leave him out for a couple more innings if he's throwing pitches like that. At 50, he's doing a great job.
Kenty, probably the Rebel pitcher that has consistently gone the deepest into games. Fouled at the plate, Mendoza couldn't quite hang on. Second strike though, so it didn't matter. Lights are starting to take effect here at Rebel Park. The sun mercifully retreats. Popped up, shallow center, Mallow out. Oh, what a catch. Highlight reel defensive inning for the Rebels. Mallow, Willie Mays style, running out away from home plate, reels it in. He deserves the tip of the cap from Jansen Kenty.
2 straight stars in my scorebook with circles in them.
So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base for the Express. We'll be back for Gio Mendoza and the Rebels in just a moment. Gio Mendoza leading off for the Rebels. Daniel Jacobs still on the mound for the Express. This is his 3rd inning of work.
Doing a good job in relief of Whitfield, excuse me.
He's put up 2 zeros to start his night. Mendoza backs out of the way of that one as it was right at his front shoulder. Jacobs didn't quite get on top of that breaking ball and misses high.
Yeah, Mendoza had that 4-3 grounder in the first. 8 out of the 9 Rebel batters went up to the plate for the Rebels that inning. Pretty usually a good sign of a productive inning when you got 8 out of your 9 batters going up.
Hard to not put some run across when you do that. Foul tip held on to by Waldrop. And Mendoza strikes out swinging. So hot out that the Rebel bat boy has given up on the baseball pants and gone to shorts.
Don't blame him whatsoever.
Right fielder, Henry Riddle. 9.
A good job from Waldrop there to hold on to that one. He had a little incident where caught the foul tip, but it slipped out of his glove. He was a little bit frustrated. Would have gotten him out of that inning. I believe that was the bottom of the second there that would have closed out that inning. It didn't really matter anyway because it was a swinging strikeout a couple pitches after that. So really no big deal except a little mental battle for Waldrop, but he does great there to take care of it.
That one misses just a bit outside.
You love that one-liner, don't you, Andrew?
I do. I will shamelessly work it into every broadcast. Shout out to the legendary Bob Uecker. Fouled out of play, 1-2 on Banks. Check swing called strike 3. Banks goes down looking for the second out of the inning. Mikey Murphy gonna bat with 2 outs and nobody on base, looking to get a rally started.
Yep, that's 2 straight now for the Rebels. Forward K's looking to avoid the trio here. Got Mike Murphy, the new kid in town. Literally the new kid in town.
One of the new kids with a couple fresh faces.
How you want to start it there with a looking strike?
Murphy spins out of the way of that one. I don't know how he got out of the way.
Yeah, that thing looked like it was going to clip him, but maybe a little bit of last-minute break there. Not enough to have it a called strike, however.
One to Murphy. Skied on the infield. It's just going to be a matter of who wants it as the entire infield converges. Ruby will ultimately be the man that makes the play. Murphy goes down. P4. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. After 4, it's Newmarket 2, Strasburg nothing. Jansen Kenty back on the mound for the 5th. We'll have that for you on the other side of this break. Oh, we're good.
Hello and welcome back to Newmarket for our interns inning. It's the top of the fifth, so you know what that means. It's me and Brandon on the mic, me being Jack Hurlbert. And Brandon, our producer. Get the inning all to ourselves on this one. It's Waldrop, Williams, and Roberts due up for the Strasburg Express. That's 7, 8, 9. And he's still out there doing a great job, and same can be said for that breaking pitch there for an even 1-1 count now. Another breaking pitch. He keeps going to it, and it keeps working. 1-2 now. One, two. That one's swung on, grounded, and ooh, a fielding error there from Maddox Land. Attempted a little backhanded play there and just slips out of his glove, and it'll be a E5 on that one. E6, excuse me.
26. That is Williams.
And Williams, the righty, will now step in with one runner on.
I believe that's the first time tonight the Express have had a leadoff hit. So that should be good job on Waldron to try to, or Waldrop, excuse me, to try to energize the offense here.
That one fouled off. Looked like it had some promise to it down the third base line. And Williams flied out to right. Top of the second. Takes the 0-1 here. Another breaking pitch. Misses just barely. Brandon, if you're Kenty, do you even think about changing that breaking pitch? It's working.
I think I like the way it's moving there, especially the changeups that kind of, sunk right over the plate in the start of the game. Those ones look, at least from where we're sitting, it looks pretty good. I imagine it's very hard for these hitters to adjust to.
Fastball there, misses low. See if he goes back to that breaking pitch with the 2-1 count now. That's a fastball inside. 3-1 count now. Williams can taste first base. Check swing there. No, says the first base umpire, and it will be a walk for Williams.
Shortstop.
Baylor Roberts stepping in now for the Express. Interesting first name, Baylor. Not the college in Texas, but the shortstop for the Strasburg Express. Number 9. Batting 9th. Breaking pitch there, misses high. Takes a long look at second, deals that one. That one swung on. Ranging back for it is Magana. He's under it and secures it. Here comes the throw over to third, but it will not matter as Waldrop says, you know what? Magana's got a great arm. I'm just going to stay put right at second. Play it safe. Better safe than sorry.
And you were mentioning it earlier, how he was showing off the cannon of an arm he has, so good job by Waldrop there.
So 1 gone now for the Rebels. No damage done on that one, thanks to the strong arm of Magana. Will now face the top of the order here with Kerwan. The lefty on lefty matchup shows bunt right down the third base line. Picked up by Kenty, swung over. Whoa! And he threw it away. And here comes 1 run for the Express. Another rounding. Waldrop and Williams will score. And that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Kenty and a Newmarket fan. as that one was like it kind of slipped out of his hand on the throw over to first. The aggressive play there from Kenty. Going to be really close anyway, even if it was on the money. That's not the case. It's far over the head of Harriel. And now it's a tie ball game, Brandon.
Yeah, it's going to be a big headache play for Kenty. I mean, you're probably just so used to throwing the heat all night that, it gets away from you there. I know some pitchers don't like to, make that throw from the mound to first. But he thought he would go for it, and unfortunately, it led to 2 runs for the Express.
Safe to say we will be calling that one an E1. Was a sacrifice bunt, so infield is in here for the Rebels. Here comes the steal, throw down from Mendoza, gets out of the hand of Terranova. The wheels are coming off for the Rebels, and another run will score for the Express, and they have taken the lead now here in the top of the 5th. I was looking to refocus here. That one's popped up. It's Douglas. Under it is Mallow. And he'll secure that one for the second out. Well, if you were to come to me, Brandon, before this inning and said the Express are going to score 3 runs, I would have just assumed it would be from hits, but not from anything remotely close to this.
Yeah, I also would have assumed that they maybe would have scored off of someone other than Kenty. I mean, just a few weeks ago, he had that gem of a game where he went 6 innings with no runs.
The 1-0 to Brown, another dangerous hitter for the Express. Lefty on lefty matchup here. One. Check swing there. Didn't look to be very close. It'll be ball 2. Brandon, I'll tell you what, I love the classic white batting gloves. You cannot go wrong with that. These days, a lot of these baseball players, they've got the highlighter colored blues and pinks, neon pink. That one's a called strike, 2-2 count now with 2 gone. But I really like the classic white batting gloves. What do you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the bare minimum, you gotta be matching a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying about the bright colors. It gets to a point where some colors just they don't mesh at all with your jerseys.
2-2 pitch was in the dirt for a full count.
But kind of a little surprised to see not much flair from Sam Brown, who, like we said earlier, is an all-star in this league.
The 3-2, big swing and a miss from Brown. And that'll conclude the top of the 5th. Rebels give up 3 in uncertain fashion. We'll be right back after this break. Back now in New Market, bottom half of our interns inning. Daniel Jacobs still out there for the Express. Faces Mallow, Magana, and Terra Nova due up. That's 2, 3, and 4 for the Rebels. The empty count pitch. That one's popped up high on his horse to get it is the shortstop Roberts. Kind of split Williams and Kerwan. That's out of your sight on the stream, but the shortstop is able to grab it. And there's one away here in New Market.
Number 13, Mario Magana.
Magana steps in now. That one just outside.
I just want to say credit to Daniel Jacobs there. I mean, he's been generating that weak contact ever since he came in, and to be able to get Mallow out, like we said, Valley League All-Star in just one pitch, it's pretty impressive.
That 1-0 is upstairs. Seeing a lot of pitches, Brandon, that are just jammed inside, if you will, forcing pop-ups, forcing weak hits, weak contact, and that's exactly what you want if you're the Express defense here. The 2-0 to Magana. That one's taken inside. Got past the catcher wall drop. Certainly an interesting last name, wall drop. Have you ever heard anything like that, Brandon?
Haven't heard a last name like that. I can't say. Can't say I have.
3-0. Big swing. You'd assume that he'd take a swing like that when you're ahead in the count like that.
Mhm.
Did a full 180 on that one. Like I said earlier, almost swung out of his shoes.
Yeah.
Pointed out by Andrew that the backswing hit the catcher. It was such a big swing. One thing about Magana that you cannot deny, he swings for the fences every single time.
Yep, we've seen him take those kind of hacks before. We know he has the power to make things happen. Still got the hitter's count. See what he can do here.
The 3-1 from Jacobs. And it will be ball 4 there. Magana watches that one go by. And he'll trot over to first. One runner on with one away. (3-2) Express over Rebels.
Nova.
Rebels looked promising for the first 4 innings, and then a rough stint in the 5th allowed the Express to take the lead. Jacobs on Terra Nova now. Terra Nova 0 for 1 on the night. He had a walk, but that does not count. He struck out. The 1-0. Check swing there. Took it off his shoulders a little bit, but too low. And not far enough off of his shoulders to count even and be any question. 2-0 now. Pickoff attempt on Magana. He's back in time.
Of course, he got that stolen base in the first inning. You want to make sure you check on him there.
Did. There's a called strike there. That's a good pitch and a good way to get yourself back into the at-bat. The 2-1 from Jacobs. Breaking pitch there, taken low for ball 3. Jacobs has pitched 14.2 innings, 19 strikeouts. That one's lined well down the third base line. It's called fair. Around comes Magana. He's going to dig in. He's getting the sign. He's going home. Here comes the throw, and it bounces off. Terra Nova is going to keep going. And it'll be a triple for Terra Nova, and the Rebels have tied it here in the bottom of the 5th.
What a play by Terra Nova. We know he's no stranger to making clutch plays against the Express this season.
Around the first baseman, Florida Atlantic University.
And he gets another timely hit right there.
Ariel.
You couldn't have hit it really any better than that. It's right in that little corner between the third baseman and the third base, right down that line. In that little sweet spot, nothing that Kerwan could do, right past him. And a Mound Conference will retire Jacobs here. We'll be right back with the mystery man after this quick break. Welcome back to New Market. New pitcher for the Express is Michael Blackman, the transfer portal righty. Most recently played for the Jaguars of Southern University. Sidearm sling from him. Here comes the steal home. It's in time, and it will be another run for the Rebels on a pass ball. And the Rebels have taken the lead back here in the bottom of the 5th.
If I would have turned on the field view quick enough, you would have seen that he had a similar wild pitch during his warm-ups. So, just shaking off the jitters a bit there.
Pitch. On low, similar spot. Interesting pitching style for Blackman.
Speaking of shaking off the jitters, I was just mentioning during the break how he's only pitched 1 inning in the Valley League so far this year, and he was redshirted this past season, so.
That one far outside, so he goes 2 inside, 1 outside. Looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk here is Blackman.
I was just going to say, a very raw prospect here.
3-0. It'll be a 4-pitch walk. And Harriel will cruise over to first. Blackman announced about a month ago on his X, formerly known as Twitter, that he's officially entering the transfer portal after 2 years at Southern University. He's the righty with 3 years of eligibility left. He posted his arsenal as a fastball, slider, and changeup. That one there curves in for a strike. On the new face in town, Carter McKay. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Got a great chance to continue the onslaught for the Rebels here. Here's the 0-1. Just a tad outside and low for an even count. It's 1-1-1 on the scoreboard.
Two guys that both haven't recorded much playing time for their respective teams in a spot where their teams need them badly.
Said it, Brandon. Here's that breaking pitch there. Thinking about taking off was Harriel, but he'll stay put at first. Okay, gets some encouragement from the Newmarket fans. The 2-1 from Blackman. That one doesn't look to catch its break and stays far outside for a 3rd ball. Blackman looking to avoid a 5-pitch walk here. And runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Low, and it will be a 5-pitch walk. And with only 1 gone and more runners in scoring position, Brandon, you got to think that the Express might be in a little bit of trouble here. And sure enough, a mound conference will take place here in Newmarket. Certainly a decent amount of movement in the Express bullpen out in right field.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the Rebels are a little bit less antsy today for those hits. They're going back to their bread and butter. They're a little bit more disciplined at the plate today, taking those walks that, led them to so much success early on in the season.
Good way to describe them was the walking baseball team, and that's probably the best way to describe it. They had, great patience. I talked a lot about patience early in the season. They had a great eye. Every single batter seemed, and the end of the mound conference will keep Blackman out there. Pitching coach maybe said, "Hey, let's focus up here. Let's take care of land here." That one breaks inside. Blackman looking to avoid a bases loaded situation. The 1-0. Taken low yet again for ball 2.
Yeah, Jack, I wonder if during that conference there they kind of told Michael to, trust what he's got a bit more. Last night, obviously, the Rebels only had 2 hits. We talked about how the Rebels were drawing so many walks before, and, Percival kind of called their bluff last night, so I'm assuming they might have said something like that to Blackman here.
Well, there is a much-needed swinging strike for Blackman as he gets land going on a downstairs pitch. Market certainly had their troubles making contact as that one's popped up way high, chasing after it. The left fielder Williams, and the runners will stay put. That's a big get for the Express there.
Catcher number 2, Mendoza.
Gio Mendoza steps in now. Bottom of the order for the Rebels has been relatively quiet. The same for him, 0 for 2 tonight. Breaking pitch there, curves in nicely for a strike. That's a solid pitch from Blackman. The 0-1 on Mendoza. Breaks inside. 1-1 our count now. One offering from Blackman. That one's popped up high. Brown is under it, adjusts last minute and gloves that one. That'll secure the third out and conclude this fifth frame. Rebels score 2 and take the lead back. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Ben Green going to lead it off for the Express in the top half of the 6th inning against new left-handed pitcher Colby Jarman. Jarman's first pitch misses just outside.
Interesting stance for Green. Holds that bat way over his head. Seen a lot of different batting stances for a lot of different batters this season with the Andrew. It's a interesting ride. Never know what you're gonna see in the Valley.
We have seen some unique ones. There was one the other night where the kind of the tip of the barrel pointed out straight at the pitcher. Final line for Jansen Kenty, the Rebel starter, is going to be 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, all unearned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He will lower his season ERA to 1.67 in 27 innings pitched.
1.67. Wow, what an ERA. That's great. Good for him. Throw that on your Twitter. Throw that on your Instagram. I mean, I'd just put that everywhere I could if I was him.
Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Jarman. Starts his outing with a strikeout. As it stands, Jansen Kenty would be in line to get the win. Caden Haywood, next man up for the Express.
Jarman's been really working that outside area, trying to maybe find a break to put it backdoor right in that strike zone.
Bounced to that one in there, almost like an optical illusion. Looked like it might have hit Haywood, but I think it just bounced out in front.
Andrew, 2 for 2 is Haywood tonight, looking for a 3 for 3, as I call it, the hat trick. So I am certainly a hockey guy, so I like to throw in a hockey reference if I can.
I think I saw that the Capitals re-signed Alex Ovechkin for 1 more year. Speaking of hockey,
I think that will be his last year. Very passionate fan down there, cheering on Colby Jarman. Throw those strikes.
I know Colby's parents were in town last weekend, partook in many of the festivities of Parents Weekend. So Haywood reaches on the walk. Ruby, the second baseman, next man up. Rebels would love a double play ball.
He's certainly a solid hitter. 409 at Keystone this year.
Peter misses away.
56 hits, same amount of runs. 6 homers, 36 RBIs. Certainly a productive bat.
I would say extremely productive. 2-0 from Jarman. About a half swing for a strike.
I don't think there's any question on that one. When you see your batting average start with a .4, that's how you know you're a pretty good hitter.
That is true. I would say just about regardless of level, if you're hitting over 400, you're probably doing all right. Here's one for you, Jack. Do you think we'll ever see another 400 hitter in the major leagues?
And I don't think so. But the way that these pitchers are...
Swing and a miss, runner going, throw down, not in time, gets into center field. But Haywood doesn't show any inclination to advance. It looks like we might have interference called on the batter. Batter is going to be called out. And Haywood's going to be sent back to first base. 2 unassisted. Will be the scoring on that.
Now that's just a wacky play right there, and looking down at my notes when that throw down happened, but the pitchers these days, I doubt it. I'm not sure that we'll see a 400 hitter when you got guys like Paul Skeens and Shohei Ohtani throwing the rock around. Certainly
It's definitely
not an
a
easy
tall task
Yeah.
in the modern game.
not an easy feat.
Ted Williams was the last major league player to hit over 400. He hit 406 in 1941. So we're not too far away from 100 years without a 400 hitter. I believe Tony Gwynn may have been somewhat close in the 90s or early 2000s.
Yep, pitching is just too advanced these days for that to happen. You got closers like Mason Miller. You've got a sweet spot for Mason Miller because he's a former A's guy. Broke my heart when we gave him away to the Padres.
Also, advanced defensive positioning. The amount of data available for that sort of thing in the major leagues is kind of mind-blowing. 3-1 on Waldrop.
I think the ABS plays a new sort of game in that too, makes it a little bit harder.
Swing and a miss, full count.
Feel like a pitcher can kind of find their pitch, and if they know that they got it, no question, they can tap their head a couple times and then get a ball reversed to a strike.
Chopped foul. Haywood, of course, in motion with 2 outs and a full count, but he's going to have to trot back to first base. Seems to be a universal rule in baseball. If the runner's in motion in that situation, you got to hit a foul ball. That one misses just low for ball 4. Waldrop works the 2-out walk. That will get a visit from pitching coach Mark Davis. Current highest batting average in Major League Baseball amongst qualified hitters, 336.
Not even close.
Fielder, 26. Williams.
Another little fun number. Back when Ted Williams hit 400, the average batting average across all of Major League Baseball was 262.
Wow.
In 2026, 244. Steady trend down on batting average. Called strike. That one's outside. Some stirring in the Rebels bullpen. Nothing too serious though. Jarman certainly be in here for a little while. Fouled just past the on-deck hitter. Strike 2. 1 strike away from getting out of a minor jam. Here is Jarman. Eric Peralta, the big righty, is up in the bullpen for Newmarket.
That's somebody I'd want to see this game for the Rebels to get him out there.
Ooh, fastball just misses outside. Umpire pretty loudly said ball out. First time I've noticed that tonight.
Got some oohs and ahs from the Newmarket faithful here. Didn't agree with that one.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Jarman works a scoreless top half of the sixth inning for Newmarket to hold on to the one-run lead. We'll be back with the bottom half of the sixth on the other side of this break. They're sending Blackman back out there. I would almost just tell Banks not to.
Of the Rebels from
Michael Blackman back on the mound for the Express. Zach Banks at the plate for the Rebels, looking for some insurance runs in the bottom of the sixth. Throws bunt, takes a ball.
Yeah, Andrew, this is a great chance for the Rebels to tack on a few more to their lead. Put this one a little bit more out of reach for the Express. Certainly a winnable game for them, a comebackable game, if that's even a word for them. Certainly claw your way back into this one. But a good chance for the Rebels to extend that and reduce those chances.
Big swing and a miss. Mikey Murphy on deck. Jonathan Mallow in the hole. Called strike. Activity in both the Rebel bullpen and the Express bullpen. Fouled in the dirt. Trying to test my vision out. It's 20-something for the Express.
Interesting name there. That's number 28 out in right field. It's Finn Lamb, the Villanova, Pennsylvania native, 6'4".
Line drive into right field over a leaping Dante Ruby. That's a leadoff single for Zach Banks.
Let's give it up for our hard-working bat boy tonight, Cole Miller, getting the job done in this heat.
That's exactly what you're looking for if you're Newmarket right there. Jump out,
Setting the plate.
get one runner on. Just solid.
Murphy.
Solid start to the inning for the Rebels.
Here is Mikey Murphy looking for his first Valley League hit. That almost gets hit.
Feel like when you see your batter kind of curl in on an inside pitch, you know either they're going to get hit or it's going to be a ball really, really close to them. Probably not the best feeling when you get plunked on a pitch that you turn around on because you expose that elbow and that tricep to get hit pretty hard.
There's a bit of an art to getting hit by a pitch without getting hurt. That's actually, perhaps controversially by today's standards, I can remember some high school practices learning how to get hit that were not particularly fun. But if you take a tennis ball or something and don't throw it too hard, it can be a valuable skill to kind of know how to tuck that elbow in, take it on the meaty part.
Well, I was instructed by one of my teammates in Little League to go to the batting cages, put the mile per hour.
Banks running. Call to strike, throw down, not in time. Banks in with a headlong dive.
Put that mile per hour tracker on 30 miles per hour, put the batting cage token in, and just stand in front of the plate and take as many pitches as you can. And that's what I was instructed to do by some of my teammates a long, long time ago, and I did not do that. So I don't think anybody on the team. I don't think anybody on the team except that one guy did it.
Young Jack was pretty smart.
Yeah. Did
So
not want to have
Banks on
bruises on my
second.
body.
Ball outside. Rebels gonna get a few chances to drive in an insurance run. Looks like it'll be Peralta on the mound in the 7th as he has continued to get loose.
No question on that check swing there.
Murphy was a little bit confused. Didn't think he had swung. That one's low and away. Full count on Murphy. And instead of getting ball 4, he gets hit by the pitch. Free base, but not the fun kind.
We were just talking about it. He curves in, takes it right on that. Looked like to be on his arm, on his shoulder maybe a little bit. He's got to smart just a little bit as you walk down the line. Probably feels a little bit better that you're on base, however.
Thankfully for Murphy, it seemed to be a glancing blow and probably not a fastball. So if you're going to get hit, that's the way to do it. Here is Jonathan Mallow with 2 men on, nobody out. Goes bunt, pops it up. Caught by the catcher and throws to second base for the double play. Banks wandered just a bit too far off the base. Rebels failed to execute in the small ball situation. It'll be a double play, 2-6.
Yikes, looks like the Rebels did something to piss off the powers that be, the baseball gods.
Runner going, big jump, easy steal. Bit of an awkward slide though for Murphy took off a little bit early on the dive and came up about a foot short into second base. Thankfully, no throw, so he was in safely with the stolen base. Swing and a miss. Chased one that was a bit low. Another big swing. 1-2. As we've mentioned several times, Magana not one to get cheated on his swings. The 1-2 from Blackman. Check swing. No swing, says third base umpire Steve Williams. That was one I could see going either way, to be honest. I would lean towards he didn't swing, but
Certainly no way to tell from our vantage point.
two is low and in. Full count. Terranova waiting on in the on deck circle, wants a chance here in the sixth. Fouled into the Strasburg dugout. So we'll redo the full count pitch, 2 outs, runner on second. Inside, honestly almost looked like that one hit him.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of a extra contact there, but regardless, it's a pass to first base.
No hit by pitch indicated, so we'll rule it as a ball 4, but could have been either way.
5, go. No ball.
And that's going to prompt a visit from the Strasburg coaching staff. Looks like they're going to make a change. So we'll step away, give the Strasburg pitcher time to make his way to the mound. We'll be back in just a moment. new Strasburg pitcher is number 28, Finn Lamb. He's facing Joe Terranova with 2 outs. Runners going, throw to third, not in time. Double steal for the Rebels. Murphy takes third, Magana takes second.
How busy for the
Fairly close play at third. Strong throw from Waldrop, but not quite in time. Dribble, just foul.
Got some wild names on the Strasburg squad. We've got Waldrop, Ruby, and now Lamb.
So Terranova finds himself behind 0-2. Chases one in the dirt, gets away from Waldrop. Gonna be close at first. Oh, collision. First, the throw pulls Sam Brown across first base and collides with Terranova. Brown is down at first, being attended to actually by Rebel first base coach Ty Martin. Trainer on her way out. Terranova also a little bit shaken up, but he's on his feet. Looks like while that was all happening, 2 runners come across for Newmarket. As Murphy scored on the play, Magana scores on the play. Bit of a wild one. They're continuing to attend to Sam Brown. Looks like he's shaking it off.
Always good to see a first baseman that gets hit, get up, and get going. Good job by him.
Brown has indeed shaken it off. He looks like he's going to stay in the game. Terranova also going to stay in the game. Scary play, though, for both teams.
on the first baseman for Florida Atlantic University, number 21, Regal.
So once the dust settles, the Rebels are now doubling up the Express with a 6-3 lead. Jaden Harriel at the plate, Terranova at first, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Could tell Waldrop was even a little shaken up on the play, feeling bad that he pulled his first baseman into trouble.
He was kind of smacking his mask against his gear. Maybe that was because he ripped it off and it got a little bit dusty in the dirt, but you know, it could be out of frustration though as well.
In the dirt, Terranova is going to move up 90 feet. Waldrop blocked it up, but it scooted away from him in front of the plate. Can continue to see a bit of a frustrated body language from Waldrop.
But while we're on Waldrop, what a play by him to slide down with the gear. I haven't really seen that before. He kind of went down onto his knees and slid into it, grabbed the baseball. It's a good play.
So 1-1 on Harriel, runner in scoring position now. Missed low for ball 2. I think we have definitely set a new season high for comments on the YouTube. Love to see it. Check swing, home plate umpire says he went 2-2.
Yeah, and Andrew Herrio could kind of tell when he went across that he went, and you could see a little emotion there from him. Not the happiest that he went across on that.
Certainly no argument. 2-2 in the dirt, full count. Carter McKay waiting on deck, hoping to get a chance. Hit hard in the air to center field, but too high. It's going to hang up for Douglas. He's got it for the F8 to end the inning. Rebels score 2 runs on 1 hit and 1 error. 1 runner left on base. It's going to be a new Rebel pitcher in the top half of the 7th when we come back on the other side of this break. I will say, new pitcher for the Rebels, number 44, Eric Peralta out of the University of Miami. had some struggles in his early work here in the Valley, but maybe the hardest thrower in the whole league. Clocked as high as 98 miles an hour this spring for the Hurricanes. Even appeared in their regional game, one of their regional games. Liner knocked down by Mallow, gonna be a base hit.
Yep, that line drive looked to kind of twist on Mallow a little bit as he dove for it. Hit him almost, looked like in the wrist. It probably didn't feel too well, but I don't know how that came out, but you can't really get the best view on it. You know, we're pretty far away from him, but it looked like it kind of curved a little bit out of his glove there.
Waiting to catch the replay of that one on the stream. And just deflected off of Mallow's glove. Can't charge in air on a diving play, but that's close to one that you almost would think about it. 2-0 on Kerwin, the Express leadoff man. Third base umpire makes Peralta throw the ball out of play. We've got a fresh baseball and we're ready to go back to work. Called strike. Just hit 10 o'clock Eastern time, 2.5 hours into this one. We're playing in the top of the 7th. Runner going. Not in time is the throw from Mendoza. Pitch is called a ball, so that's a steal for Roberts. And Kerwin is ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, and Andrew, I think that throw down from Mendoza got a little bit of air time on it, lofted just a little bit too high, and that took some time off of it. May have been a little bit closer if it was a little bit lower to the ground and a little bit more line drive-y, if you will.
Fastball just misses ball 4. First 2 men are aboard for the Express. That'll get a visit from pitching coach Mark Davis.
Breaking accident. Yeah, it's a 50. 8, 9, 71018. 71018.
The visit at the mound has wrapped up. See if Peralta can settle in as he goes to work against Jay Douglas. Shows bunt, runners going, wild pitch. Runners were in motion, so they'll get stolen bases instead of the wild pitch, but would have been a wild pitch in any other scenario. Peralta struggling to find the zone.
Yep, Andrew, we usually see those mound conferences kind of help the pitcher focus up a little bit, and then they start to find their stride right after getting, talked to by the coach. Maybe, hey, focus up here. Let's fix this. Let's fix that. But not the case for Peralta. So he sends that one way high. Good readjustment there by him on that pitch.
Called strike. This is inside 2-1. There is action in the Rebel bullpen. Right-handed pitcher is up. Fastball fouled off. 2-2 on Douglas, rather. Brown is on deck. Yeah, an opportune time for a strikeout if you're a Rebels fan. This is upstairs, full count. Do not want to load the bases with one of the strongest hitters in the entire league waiting on deck.
Yep, Andrew, and certainly a frustrating night for Douglas, Brown, and Green. All of them are 0 for 3. And certainly got to think that Brown's ready to change that on this next at-bat.
Full count pitch. Called strike 3 on the heater. Dotted it on the outside corner. So Peralta gets the first out of the inning. And here is the before mentioned Sam Brown.
First baseman, Sam Brown.
Certainly, I would say the best hitter for the Express, one of the best in the Valley Baseball League. So Peralta's got to watch out here. I wouldn't give anything easy here.
Fastball out. Does have first base open with runners on second and third.
Say this is the best time to be your best.
Peralta certainly capable of bearing down and getting out of this jam.
Certainly, he had a great series there against Douglas with that looking K. Able to focus up and take care of that after the mound visit.
Finds himself behind 2-0 against Brown. Fastball fouled off. Looks like it got a piece of the home plate umpire. Mendoza gonna take a stroll, give a moment of recovery, and he says, "You good?" Heads back to the plate after getting an affirmative.
Trying to maybe sneak a couple of words with your pitcher there while the umpire is recovering. And ouch, that's gotta hurt if you...
Kind of common courtesy in the umpire-catcher relationship, which tends to be pretty strong. Catcher is the last line of defense for home plate umpires. If they let one get through, it's not fun. 3-1 on Brown. We'll see if Peralta challenges him with a fastball. He does. Gets a ground ball to Mallow, who comes up empty. Ball goes into right field. That'll be an E4, which allows 2 runners to come around and score.
Right to it. In 3.
Yeah, that's a rough inning for Mallow, certainly. Had one that he certainly thinks he should have gotten. A little bit frustrated with himself, then he makes that error. And let's go back to the keys of the game. You give up an error, Ted Lasso Goldfish Memory. I don't think it was that key, but the key against Purcellville. But you just got to forget about the error that you just made. It's in the past. Move on.
Yeah, that ball was hit pretty much right at Mallow, and he still tried to backhand it rather than kind of getting in front of it, and then just came up empty and into right field it went.
A little bounce on it, bouncing ball. Sometimes those can be maybe just a little bit tricky, but got to come up with that one if you're sitting at second.
Certainly frustrating if you're Peralta. Feels like he's gotten 3 outs in this inning. Probably should have been out of the inning without any trouble, but some defensive miscues have cost the Rebels, and the lead is down to 1. Fastball didn't miss but much, but ball 2. Thinking if all was smooth sailing, we might even see Peralta in for the rest of this ball game, but I think now probably only going to get 1 inning of work. Fouled into the screen.
Don't see any action in the Rebels bullpen out there in left field.
Think you might have been fooled by the submarine pitcher. Working so low that he's maybe below our eyesight.
Did not
Or
see
perhaps
that.
I'm fooled. We'll find out. That one almost hits green. He gets out of the way. 3-1.
My view is a little bit obscured by the roof of the dugout.
Three, 1 out. Rebels holding on to a 1-run lead in the 7th. Flared foul. Full count now, 1 out. We'll see if that gets Brown in motion over at first to stay out of the double play. Has a pretty good lead. He is going. Pitch is fouled off. Peralta challenged Green with the high heater. We'll say if there's any pitcher you're comfortable with challenging right down the middle with a fastball, it would be Peralta. I think he had one in at 95 this inning, so throwing pretty hard. Runner going again, ball 4. Here comes head coach Charlie Shepard. He's going to make the call to the bullpen. We'll step aside and be back with the new Rebel pitcher on the other side of this break. New Rebel pitcher is Lane Giroux out of William Carey in the state of Louisiana. First pitch to Caden Haywood, misses for a ball. Peralta on the hook for both runners that are on base. Although Brown reached on an error. Popped up down the first baseline, gonna just get out of play. Rebel bat boy Bryce Jones over there almost had a chance to make a play on it. Not that that would have counted, not a banana ball game.
I do want to come up, excuse me, and catch a game of Rebel ball. That would be interesting. I watched the live stream. Greg did a great job in the broadcasting chair. The fun watch.
Just misses outside, 3-1.
And Andrew, you go from a guy that has nothing with 0 for 3 with Ben Green, and then you go to a guy that has everything, 2 for 2 for Haywood tonight, looking to extend that now.
And hits one in the air to right field. Banks tracking it, slicing towards the line, catches it. Runners going to advance to third. That was Brown. F9 for Haywood. Green stays put. Brown advances to third. So first and third, 2 out.
Second baseman, Haywood.
First pitch to Ruby is a ball. Pickoff throw, close play. Green back in safely with a dive. Big swing and a miss. 1-1.
And Andrew, Ruby had that pop-up in the top of the fourth that was gloved by Mallow. Really, like, superstar play, a highlight play. I put a star on it. It was that last-second adjustment, and he went twisting backwards almost and made a nice contortion save. A contortion catch, if you will.
Another pickoff throw. Not quite as close this time. Drew making sure that Green will have to wash his jersey after this one.
This isn't baseball if you don't get a little bit of dirt on your jersey.
Inside breaking ball just misses for ball 2. Gonna be more action in the Rebel bullpen. Caden Freeman is up. This time it's the Submariner. Chop down the third baseline, foul. Two across the top of the scoreboard. Lane 1 strike away from getting out of this jam.
Yeah, Andrew, you were talking a little bit about a Submariner warming up, so when I saw that Drew was out there and not submarining, I was a little confused. I was like, wait, what happened? What happened to the Submariner? But
still down there.
okay, still down there.
We've seen Caden Freeman in a home game yet. Squeaky chair in the press box. Not sure if that came through on the mic, but it was loud.
It's some WD-40 on that thing.
Big lead at first, not being held. Takes off, swing and a miss. Lane Giroux does a nice job getting out of trouble here in the 7th. Strasburg scores 2. 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 Newmarket error, 2 runners left on base. Newmarket holds on to a 1-run lead as we play in the bottom of the 7th on the other side of this break. Carter McKay leads it off for the Rebels in the bottom of the 7th. Fouled at the plate.
And Andrew, a quiet night for McKay. Kind of expected in your first, first time in the starting lineup for the Rebels. 0 for 2, 1 walk. Looking to get something on the board here. Adjusting to the town, adjusting to the team. Really can't blame him there, and nothing.
Perhaps getting over the stiffness of a long drive to Newmarket this week.
Now shifted to standing up in the media booth. I like it.
After 3 hours, just needed to stretch the legs. That one's rocketed to center field. That is a long home run for Carter McKay. Welcome to Newmarket. Have not seen an outfielder give up on a ball that quick in quite a while.
He gets a free chicken on the house. Sort of gets started. Home run hero, Carter McKay.
That was a 400-plus foot rocket to center for McKay.
And I talk about getting on the board. How about you do it like that? My goodness, that was smoked.
Around the shortstop.
Douglas, the center fielder, took about 3 steps and immediately stopped.
No doubt.
And thanks to that home run, Carter McKay has earned himself a free chicken dinner at Southern Kitchen, a Newmarket staple. And let me tell you, that fried chicken is good stuff. Maddox Land up next. Tough act to follow.
He spoke it into reality, Andrew. Getting on the board. Something big happening, and he does it there. Wow, he smoked that thing too. No doubt about it. Talked about, his big frame and how if he gets his bat on it, that's going to go pretty far. It's like Magana in a way, and wow, he smoked that thing.
Misses low. 2-1 on Maddox Land, the shortstop. Mendoza, the catcher, on deck. Three and one on Land now. Chat still hopping tonight.
Love to see it.
Outside, Maddox Land has earned himself a free pass.
Andrew, I want to knock wood, but it looks like the tides are changing. It feels like something's happening. Bats are working. Everybody getting on base. The water is flowing, if you will. It's not stopped by a dam, if you will, and like the dam has been opened. The water's flowing through now. Runners on bases, runners getting across. Something seems to have changed, and in a great way for the Rebels.
Definitely a bit of a vibe shift. Maddox Land takes one step towards second and then decides to stay put. Pitch misses low for a ball. Little more spark in the dugout, I would say, especially after that home run. If that doesn't get you going, I don't know what would. Land goes. Throw down, skips into center field. Land gonna try to push it for third. Could be a close play. Throw is up the line, stolen base, and an E2. Rebels have been in motion a lot tonight.
Great heads-up play there by Land to see that the ball got past that second baseman, take off for third. Extra bases for the Rebels, and now you got the door. I would say the metaphorical door. They were knocking at it, and now it's coming through the hinges. Hinges are about to break down.
Strasburg brings the infield in all the way around. Prioritizing cutting down Land at the plate on a ground ball. This is way upstairs, ball 4. Mendoza is going to head to first. Zach Banks gets a chance with runners on the corners, nobody out. Don't think Mendoza's much of a threat to steal. Called strike.
And Andrew, if I'm the Strasburg coaching staff, if I see another walk here, I think I might get a little mound conference going. They have CJ Aspel, number 48, warming up in the bullpen out in right field for the Express. Think we might be seeing him if we see another walk here.
Strasburg playing back up the middle now, looking for a double play. One to Banks. Grounded foul. Big ricochet off the screen in front of the dugout and out past the first baseman.
Sounded like it hit the connecting pole of the screen. Had a quick bounce to it, bounce right back, almost back to the pitcher's mound in a way.
So 1 and 2 on Banks. Mendoza at first, Land at third. Swing and a miss. Ideal situation for the Express, getting the strikeout. Plus side for the Rebels, that flips it over to the top of the lineup, and Mikey Murphy. Talking about stolen bases, he's got a couple of those tonight.
Fielder number 7, Mike Murphy.
Yeah, Andrew, another new face, had a relatively quiet night in his first start. Hasn't seen a ton of contact, popped out once, got walked, struck out, but see if he can repeat some history here. Get some solid contact, which follows after McKay's.
Pitching change for the Express. We'll take a quick break and be back with a new Strasburg pitcher on the other side of this break. New pitcher for the Express, CJ Asbill. Mikey Murphy at the plate, Mendoza at first, Land at third, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th.
And Andrew, Asbill from Embry-Riddle, I wonder if he knows Zach Banks.
I would imagine that he does. That one hits Murphy square in the small of the back. I think that's his second hit by pitch of the night.
Yes, it is, Andrew, and that was his last at-bat was he got plunked, and he went on to score that when he was put on to first base.
Covering up the second baseman from Missouri State College, Jonathan Mello.
Murphy certainly earning his stripes to be a Rebel tonight.
And Strasburg has entered the danger zone with the bases loaded, 1 out, and the Rebels' strongest hitters coming up. Jonathan Mallow takes the first one for a called strike.
And if you're a lefty here, which Mallow is, this is just what you want, a righty on lefty matchup.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
I can tell you, being a lefty myself playing baseball, when you face a lefty pitcher, it's a lot tougher than when you're facing a righty pitcher.
Pitch fouled back. Mallow stays alive. Ground ball to third. Bobbled. Gonna go to first. Not in time. E5 allows Mallow to reach. Everybody moves up 90. Land scores on the play.
The fielder, Mario Agana.
Kerwin would have had a play at the plate if he fielded it cleanly, bobbled it, attempted to go to first, was not in time, and the Rebels have stretched the lead to 3 once again. Agana, next man up, with a chance to blow this one wide open if he gets into one. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Andrew, if you're Aswell, this is the last guy you want to deal with. With the bases loaded with one gone, Magana, the explosive bat from Miami. Yeesh, that's a tough at bat. That's a tough battle.
Swung on and missed, 1-2. Fouled back, felt like that one was coming right at us.
The former baseball player in me always wakes up for just a split second when I see that ball flying right at me, Andrew. Sometimes I just can't help but, reach out, just even if there's a safety net, you just want to grab at it.
I'm familiar with that instinct. Makes me want to put on the old ball glove.
Seeing that baseball fly at you, it's a good feeling.
2-2, called strike 3 on the inside corner. Magana didn't like it. I hear a couple calls of good take from the Rebels side.
Third baseman from Southeast Missouri State. 5, Joe Terranova.
Yeah,
Joe Terranova.
That's about as inside as you could ask for right there. I bet you Magana heard the seams on the air, cutting through the air.
First pitch to Joe Terranova, outside for a ball. Bases full of Rebels, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Both teams deep into their bullpens at this point.
Yeah, both teams kind of unloading the clip. That being the pitchers, the relief pitchers, all of them, just everything you got.
Tends to happen in a county rivalry game like this one. 1-1. Bounced in there 2-1. Nice job by Waldrop to keep that one in front of him. Two one. Taken low, 3-1. Joe, no stranger to a bases loaded walk. He'll take the free RBI if Asbill offers it to him. Inside fastball, ball 4. That will walk in a run as Mendoza trots in. RBI walk for Terranova. Jaden Harriel gets a chance. Lead is now 4 for the Rebels.
Around the first baseman from the Atlantic University. 1, Jaden Ariel.
Past 3 hours of game time in this half inning.
Andrew, I believe that is Gio Mendoza's first time crossing a home plate in Newmarket, so congratulations to him.
Absolutely. Always good to score a run for your new team. Quickly 2-0 on Harriel. Asbel struggling to find the strike zone. Big Carter McKay is on deck. Up and in, 3-0. Feels like if you're Harriel, you probably just got to sit there and take this one. And there's ball 4, the 4-pitch walk. Another run comes in for the Rebels in the form of Mike Murphy.
And Andrew, this is eerily similar to the Rebels of old earlier this season. Lots of walks, lots of patience, lots of walking to first and driving in runs by walking. And the tradition continues here. Looks like the Rebels are back to their walking ways.
And we talked about Express first baseman Sam Brown, who had 2 home runs in an inning last week. McKay has a chance to match him right here, should he go deep. Asbel finds the zone there for a called strike.
All the way back around on the batting order, all 9 Rebels banners have been up to the box.
Big swing and a miss, 1-2.
My score sheet is completely full for the 7th spot for the Rebels. That's always a good sign.
So 2 strikes on McKay. Bases loaded. Ooh, takes a tough breaking ball. Asbel does not get the call. 2-2. Ground ball to second. Fielded cleanly, throw across. Gets a hustling McKay for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before. The Rebels score 4 runs on 1 hit. 2 Strasburg errors and 3 runners left on base. Tanner Waldrop will lead it off for the Express. The top half of the 8th inning, trailing by 5. Tanner Waldrop leads it off for the Express. Lane Giroux still on the mound for the Rebels. Swung on and missed for strike one. 92 of you still hanging in there with us on the broadcast as we're approaching 11 p.m. Eastern Time. That one's hit hard into center. Sinking line drive is down for a hit. Leadoff man on for the Express. That's going to get some motion in the Rebel bullpen.
Number 46.
Also still action of some sort in the Express bullpen.
Andrew, we talked about it during the break. Valley Baseball League is very much anything can happen kind of league. 5 runs is nothing to what we've seen this year and what's happened in years before that. This is definitely not the biggest hill we've ever seen climbed.
I think 5-run lead seems a lot smaller when you're on a losing streak than maybe if you're somebody like the Waynesboro Generals, who's been kind of dominating the league early on. 2-0 fouled off. Speaking of dominating a league, I was looking at the Cape Cod League website earlier today. How about the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox? 14-1 to start the season in the Cape. Wow. Cape Cod League, of course, the premier top-tier collegiate summer league. Don't think there's any arguing that fact. A lot of parity in that league outside of that one team that is on a heater. Fouled at the plate. Williams hopping around. Looks like it was off his foot. So it's a full count on Williams. Tanner Waldrop at first base being held on by Harriel. Pitch from Giroux. Fouled out of play down the first baseline.
So Andrew, here's a question for you. If you're Mark Davis, pitching coach for the Rebels, when do you start to look towards the bullpen? When do you think it's time to, even if he keeps giving up walks, when do you think it's time to relieve Giroux? When do you think you start to look at the bullpen when it comes to this game? You're up by 5, top of the 8th, got time.
With that current Rebel losing streak on your mind, you're probably a little quicker with the hook than you might be in another circumstance. So I would think 1 or 2 more walks. Freeman's already been warmed in the pen for a while, would probably get a pitching change. Of course, does also depend on how many other pitchers might be available behind Freeman if you need some innings from a certain guy on a certain night. Rebels should still have at least a couple pitchers available in the pen. Another foul ball. 5 consecutive fouled off.
And the name Madden always makes me think of the legendary sports broadcaster and NFL coach John Madden. Legend in the NFL and football community.
Hit hard into left field. Murphy back. Can't come up with it at the wall. That was a hard hit ball from Williams. Thought Murphy had a chance, but he ran a long way and couldn't flag it down as he approached the wooden wall out there in deep left center. So first two men are on for the Express and in scoring position. Baylor Roberts, next man for the Express, the 9-hitter, so they will flip it over to their powerful top of the order after Roberts. Looks like they're going to stick with Lane Giroux.
One of those moments where right before, I like to compare it to weather, right before a big storm when there's, everything kind of goes quiet, the wind starts blowing, big booming thunder clouds in the sky, dark gray, really ominous, that something's about to go down. That's kind of how I'd compare it to the moment right now with the Rebels, with two runners in scoring position. Part of the lineup coming up for the, I wouldn't say heart, but I'd say top of the lineup with their best hitters coming up.
That
very
one was
soon.
foul down the third baseline. 1-2.
Definitely want to start thinking about getting out of this one.
Swing and a miss. Roberts goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Well, if you want to get out of this one, as the aforementioned, you strike out. Bottom of the order, the 9-hole Baylor Roberts does a great job there. That is Giroux. Awesome job by him.
Here is Tommy Kerwin, the leadoff man, batting with 1 out, 2 men in scoring position. First pitch to him is low for ball 1. Also misses for a ball. Getting some calls aimed at the home plate umpire in both directions in this inning.
Really, really close that one was. Tell you what.
And another one just misses, 3-0.
Looked like that one was a fastball, really no break on it. Hovering in the 85 range.
Called strike on a high outside heater. Crowd has thinned out considerably after initially kind of growing, but getting late here in Newmarket. Tell you, I'm thankful for a long weekend with the 4th of July holiday. Hit into center, gonna be down for a hit in front of Magana. It's only gonna score 1. The throw is a bit wild, which allows Kerwin to advance to second. Waldrop scores. Williams had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught, so he only advances to third. RBI for Kerwin. The Express cut the lead to 4. Still have 2 men in scoring position, only 1 out.
Good pitch
Ball
there.
strike. Fans that are still here, very engaged, leaning forward in their seats. Fouled off 0-2. Jay Douglas behind in the count.
Another 84, 85 mile per hour fastball. Solid pitching from Giroux.
Dangerous Sam Brown waiting on deck. Hasn't done too much tonight, which makes you a little nervous if you're a Rebel fan.
He's certainly growing impatient, ready to knock one out here.
Swing and a miss. Douglas goes down swinging. Breaks his bat over his knee, I believe. That's an expensive decision.
Yeah, that's kind of like throwing your Titleist golf club iron into the pond after you shank one into the woods. That's not the kind of a I hated that club anyway moment. Kind of get rid of it. Also get rid of $400 to replace it.
Here's Sam Brown, called strike. Oh for 4 tonight for Brown. Hasn't had too many of those this season. He swings and misses. 0-2. Giroux all of a sudden fooling these Express batters.
Well, I didn't have my radar out for that, or not my radar, but I didn't have the radar out for that one, but I wish I did because that thing was moving. Completely fooled Sam Brown. Now he's way behind in this count. Got to focus up here.
And he hits one to deep right, banks back. He's going to have room. He catches it just in front of the warning track. We can be thankful we're not playing this game in Strasburg. So Brown flies out to end the Express threat in the 8th. They do score 1 on 3 hits. No Newmarket errors. 2 runners left on base. Maddox Land will lead it off for the Rebels in the bottom of the 8th inning on the other side of this break. Maddox Land gonna lead it off for the Rebels in the bottom of the 8th, looking for some insurance runs. Although, if we're being completely honest, I think the Rebels fans might just be ready for this one to be over. But I'll take some insurance runs.
Nothing wrong with some insurance runs.
Hard hit ground ball to first. Kicks off of the glove of Brown, and that'll be an E3, allowing Land to reach to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
That's a frustrating one for Brown. Obviously, you got ran over earlier in this game, and now you make the error. Yikes.
And 0 for 5 at the plate.
And 0 for 5.
I'm gonna hazard a guess that that's the first time this season he's gone 0 for 5 in a game.
An incredible hitter.
Land takes off for second, throw down. Actually goes into Land as he slides into the bag.
He thought about it for a minute, going for third for a second time tonight after taking second. But
Wisely stays put.
yeah, after that one plunked him, probably not the smartest course of action to go after that one, because you'll almost 100% be thrown out.
8 stolen bases tonight for the Rebels. Two 2-0 on Mendoza. Outside 3-0. Three 1 is outside.
Right fielder from Emory Riddle, number 9, Zach.
Zach Banks gonna get a chance with 2 men on, nobody out. Would not be too terribly surprised to see a bunt in this situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't be really shocked there. See the third baseman kind of playing a little bit in.
Way back at first base, if you're gonna bunt near Banks, I think you try to drag it down the first baseline. Get it past the pitcher, almost a guaranteed hit. Instead, he swings away and laces it down the left field line. Just foul. Chat says, no way, we want runs. I support you 100%.
We don't want sleep, we want runs.
I can get behind that when I don't have to work at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Exactly. Why go to bed when you can watch baseball players cross home plate?
1-1 on Zach Banks. Upstairs, 2-1.
Ball drop, fumbled that one. Good on him to catch it.
It's like yet another arm up in the pen for the Express. Both teams got to be getting near the end of the available options. It's like 22.
Yes, it is 22. You're correct.
Vision didn't fail me on that one.
It's Marshall McGowan. Notes have him as an infielder. We'll hold everything here. It may not be 22. I'm not sure.
Runner going. Ground ball to shortstop. Maddox Land was stealing third. But Mendoza was not following at first, so it'll be a double play. Land does advance to third on the play. Mike Murphy gets yet another at-bat tonight.
Well, Andrew, you are definitely correct. It is number 22 out there warming up. Marshall McGowan from Western Carolina University.
First pitch to Murphy is a ball.
Surprised they have him as an IF on his position, so I guess a utility player. It's down that low that they got to start using the utilities. You know you've used all your guys.
Called strike. Murphy 0 for 2 on the night, but has filled the stat sheet. Walk,
Certainly has.
hit by pitch, couple of stolen bases,
2 straight hit by pitches, looking for the hat trick here.
2 runs scored on top of all of that.
Exactly. Both those times he got hit by pitches, he crossed the plate. So paying the price, but getting rewarded for it.
Hey, that's the leadoff man's job. Get on base,
There
score
you go.
runs. Murphy has accomplished that in his first game for the Rebels. Would not be surprised if we see a pretty similar lineup moving forward with a few little things shifted around. Gonna see some more roster movement over the next 2 days.
And Andrew, I mean, maybe it was an issue with the line. We can't really speculate on what happened on this losing streak. Obviously, we don't know if the streak's over yet, and the game's never over until it's over. But this lineup has performed phenomenally tonight.
Stealing home, called out. Land with the aggressive attempt to steal home on the throw back to the pitcher. Don't see that every day.
Yeah, not sure what the message was from Coach Shepard there, but
Didn't seem too upset, so maybe he told him to try it. No runs, no hits, 1 error. No runners left on base. Caden Freeman's going to take over on the mound for the Rebels. We'll have that for you on the other side of this break. Ben Green going to lead it off for the Express in the top of the 9th, trailing the Newmarket Rebels by 4. Caden Freeman on the mound for the Rebels out of Jones College. Brings it from very low arm slot.
and there's your submariner that we were talking about, finally making his appearance here, looking to close out the Express and end this stubborn losing streak.
Chop to second, big hop for Mallow, throw to first in time for the first out of the inning. Nice easy hop for Mallow to handle.
Designated hitter number
Caden Haywood fouls off the first pitch he sees from Freeman, 0-1. Inside, almost hit him. Almost looked like he regretted getting out of the way of that one.
Especially when you're down by 4 runs, it's get on base any means necessary. If that involves taking a hit, you want to stay in there.
Check swing appealed to first, who says he went 1-2.
Haywood's had a pretty productive night tonight. Probably wanted to keep it rolling.
Takes that one outside, 2-2. Hard hit ground ball to second. Mallow fields, fires. Second, 4-3 put out of the inning. Press fairly quickly down to their last out.
2 straight 4-3s this inning, Andrew. Mallow's been a busy man.
second base. Contact
Rebels can taste it now.
Ruby at the plate for the Express, representing their last chance. Takes the first pitch for a ball. And takes that one off the elbow guard. Express get a base runner, but they'll need a few more of those before the Rebels will feel too threatened. And Waldrop is hit back-to-back hit batters from Freeman, who had almost hit Haywood earlier in the inning.
Yeah, and Waldrop was not very happy that he got hit there. Slammed his bat down the ground in a little bit of pain. Had a brutal night, really. I mean, he's gotten hit a couple times.
So Bailey Roberts, the on-deck hitter, would represent the tying run if it gets there. First pitch to Williams is fouled off. Way outside, Freeman all of a sudden struggling to find the zone.
Hold everything here.
The Express not going quietly into the night. Hard hit line drive up the middle into center field for a hit. Runner's going to come around to score. Actually runs through a stop sign at third base.
Don't see that a lot. Really ever, I don't think.
Shortstop, Taylor Roberts.
So Roberts does get an opportunity at the plate as the tying run. Express trail by 3. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Dangerous top of the Express lineup lurking. And that one is behind Roberts. Almost clips him in the calf.
One for 4 on the night for Roberts.
Ground ball to third. Terranova up with it, throws across. Throw is high, but Harriel holds on to the bag, and the Rebels escape in the 9th against the Express.
Staying with Rebels taking the win.
Wild game in Newmarket tonight.
Express, 7 runs, 7 hits, and 5 errors. Newmarket, 10 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors.
We'll wrap this one up fairly quickly as we're approaching 4 hours since we started this one. Rebels score 7 runs, or Express rather, scores 7 runs on 7 hits to commit 5 errors. Newmarket 10 runs on 6 hits, 4 errors. The Rebels break the 7-game losing streak and get back in the win column. Rebels are going to be on the road or off for the next week. We'll be back here next Wednesday, I believe, is the next home game. Tomorrow night, mark your calendars, 5 p.m. start at Winchester to accommodate the town fireworks following the game. I'm Andrew Kipps. He was Jack Hurlbert. Brandon Whitaker behind the controls tonight. We'll be back with you next week for some more Rebel baseball.